Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Pastor Bob with another daily Bible reading insight. Today is day 121. And I'll read through the Bible in a year. All right, so where are we in 121? We're in 1 Kings chapters 2 and 3 and finishing up chapter 22 of Luke. Chapter 22 of Luke is a long one. Lots to talk about today. 1 Kings chapter 2, King Solomon does some cleaning up from King David's time. Kind of interesting conversations. One of the most interesting is Shimei. As David is leaving from one of his son's rebellions, this guy Shimei comes up and is cursing him and throwing rocks at him. Do you remember that dude? And all of David's commanders are like, let's kill this guy. What are you doing? And King David said, no, let him do his thing. And he appears to give him a pardon, give him amnesty. Well, he tells King Solomon, hey, I gave that guy amnesty, but you should not. Pulls a couple of those things. Kings chapter 3, when God appears to King Solomon and asks him what he wants, he famously asks for wisdom, but pay attention, he asks for a certain kind of wisdom. He says to God, give me an understanding heart, so that I can govern your people well. And know the difference between right and wrong. God is so pleased with his answer. He gives him that wisdom, and he also gives him riches and fame. But I thought that was interesting. It wasn't just give me wisdom and smarts, an understanding heart. I think that should be our prayer with God too. Jumping over to Luke 22, Jesus prays in the Garden of Gethsemane. All right, so here's a new thought, at least new thought for Pastor Bob. Starting in verse 41, we read in the NLT, I'll throw this up here. He walked away about a stone's throw and knelt down and prayed, Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me, yet I want your will to be done, not mine. Then an angel from heaven appeared and strengthened him. He prayed more fervently, and he was in such agony of spirit that his sweat fell to the ground like great drops of blood. Here's the thought. Could Jesus have been in such agony of spirit because he knew that not all people would come to faith in him and be saved? He's making this great sacrifice for all of the world, for all of the time, right? Enormous mental, physical, spiritual pain, bearing the sin of all times, and some people will not believe him. They'll spend eternity away from God. Could that be a part of his great agony? I don't know. What do you think? Starting in verse 54, we'll end up here. We see Peter's denial of Jesus. 3 times he declares, no, I don't know the man. Right after the 3rd time, we read the rooster crows. And in verse 61, at that moment, the Lord turned and looked at Peter. What do you think Peter saw on Jesus' face? Some people might think he saw condemnation, disgust, disapproval. I think they'd be wrong. I think Peter saw love. I think Peter saw compassion, mercy, maybe even a little smirk as in, I told you, I told you this was going to happen. You didn't listen to me. I think those looks of love are what broke Peter. Amen. I know this, when we take a misstep and we move away from God and we turn back and we look to Jesus for help, I know that he looks on us with love, compassion, mercy. It's not disapproval. It's not ever disapproval. Just some Monday morning thoughts from Pastor Bob. What do you think? What do you think he saw on Jesus' face? Thanks for listening to my thoughts. Another daily Bible reading. We'll see you tomorrow.